So here we are at days 3 and 4 of Fresh Ink, and we've had a couple of really exciting days. So on the first day, of course, we're doing a ton of rehearsals all over the place. Things are really getting into higher gear now, and we've got multiple pieces rehearsing at the same time all over the Carthage campus, in the recital hall, in the chapel, in all of the instrumental rooms. And then we also have composition lessons happening during those times. We have composers forums in which all of the composers get to share their pieces with the rest of the students in the room. And it's really just a crazy busy time the entire way through the day. Our workshop for today was on public speaking, and it's really ironic that I said right before that, of course. Anytime I start thinking about it, it's everywhere. Anyways, the public speaking workshop is, first of all, about what to say about a particular piece. So we take a look at a piece of visual art, for instance, and we say, what does this look like to you? And then we might say, all right, let's give some sort of Wikipedia type of information. Does that change the way you view the piece? Maybe, maybe not. And then maybe you share a little bit about how you feel about the piece. And does that change the way the audience feels? Maybe, maybe not. And we finally get to a place where sometimes a blend of those two things, like some really salient pieces of information about the composer or the artist, the time in which it was written, something about the life of the artist, or something about the background of the piece might be relevant to why it's so significant to you, or something about your reasons for choosing it. In the case of a piece of music, a lot of times for me it's something about the preparation process or why I selected to play it now. And being able to connect that to something that's actually factual about the piece is really helpful. So you're not just getting the fluff piece of why I put this on the program, and you're not just getting the dry sort of facts of the matter about when the artist was born and died, but you're getting some sort of blend of the two that becomes this really vibrant story about the piece of art. And that's sort of what we strive to get in all of our program notes and in the announcements that we choose to make from the stage when we're speaking, basically because we want our audiences to love these works as much as we do, and to get to know us as people a little bit through the process. So in addition to all of that, we do a little bit with speaking warm-ups. So we stand in the dark, we learn to breathe, we learn to find our natural voice. We learn a few things about how to handle tongue twisters as a warm-up, or how to lateral yawn, which is one of the funniest things that you could possibly do. And all these things are great because, when you're stuck, when you're having to give a speech in front of 300 or 400 people, or on live radio broadcast, which everybody will later this summer, it's really worth it to just have a few things in your back pocket that you can use to prepare yourself, much in the same way that we prepare ourselves as instrumentalists or as composers to, get up there and do our craft. So that was the public speaking workshop, and that's something that, again, will apply very closely to our composers in particular, because they're going to be speaking about their works before all of our performances at University of Wisconsin-Parkside and at Ravinia. So we're really excited about seeing that come into practice. And then on day 4, we actually had the first of our public performances, and our instrumentalists actually got to announce their pieces. So they had a really direct application of what we learned. We actually had some auditions on this, I think the first or second day of the festival, to determine who would play at Milwaukee Art Museum. So it was really small ensembles or soloists, because we're so close to the beginning of the festival that we couldn't really present anything that we had planned just for this festival in terms of the new premieres. But it was a great time. The Milwaukee Art Museum is a beautiful space. It's so funny because when we posted some of this on Facebook, some of the comments that we got were, oh my gosh, were you playing a spaceship? Because it's such an amazing space to play in. And we had all kinds of people coming by, little kids, families, people who didn't expect to see classical music that day. And it's funny, I was setting up cameras and all of that good stuff beforehand, and there were some toy pianos on the stage, and there were these two ladies sitting there like, they're actually going to play those things. Those little things, they're actually going to play them. It was great. I love playing in these non-traditional spaces because honestly, you're going to reach people where they are. They're not there necessarily because they have a connection or background to classical music in the first place, but you're going to give them that experience. You're going to have the opportunity to shake their hand and say hello, and it's just a beautiful thing. We had a great time. So Many thanks to the Milwaukee Art Museum for having us. It was a joy, and we're looking forward to being back next year. And I also am looking forward to being back with you in a few days.